You're listening to Three Kitchens Podcast, hosted by home cooks Erin Walker and Heather Dyer.
Join us as we walk you through our experience with a new recipe, successes and fails. Let's all get inspired, cook better, and eat great food. Welcome to Three Kitchens Podcast, everybody. I'm Heather. I'm here with Erin.
Hello, Heather.
Hello. I have a question for you. We're going to get right to it.
I will try to answer.
Oh, it's not like skill testing or anything.
Thank God.
Are you familiar with the recipe or have you heard of it called the Marry Me Chicken?
Ooh, it's ringing a dull bell, but I have no idea what it...
A faint little gong in the back of your mind?
Yeah. I have a feeling I've heard of it, but I've never...
Now, you and I are not really on top of like the trending recipes, perhaps. I think you see them more on like TikTok, which is not really our place where we hang out. Although you can find Three Kitchens Podcast on
We're
TikTok.
trying.
We're trying to get in there. We're trying. We're not really up to speed.
We're old. We're just trying, okay? Be kind with us.
We're doing our best. But apparently it went viral on TikTok. Marry Me Chicken.
Okay.
So this dish was created by delish.com back, I think it was like 2022 or something like that.
Oh, this is really recent then.
It became, the New York Times published a version of it that became their most popular recipe of 2023. And apparently it was also, I don't know what the adverb is. It was highly Googled. It was rigorously Googled. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, it was Googled a lot as well.
I have no adjectives for you either. I'm sorry. Or verbs or
Adverb.
I don't even know.
Okay.
Adverb. Okay.
Yeah. So it was trending. Apparently, what they say is when they were testing the recipe at Delish and they were figuring it out, when they're like developing a recipe and they were filming it or something and they didn't have a name for it. And somebody tasted it. Somebody in the crew tasted it and said, "Oh, I would marry you for this chicken," because it was that good. And so then they decided to call it Marry Me Chicken. And so I think maybe it went viral because people were like, well, if it's that good, maybe I could serve it up to somebody I want to agree to marry me.
Is this proposal chicken then? Like, was everybody making this up and being like, eat this chicken and marry me?
Maybe.
How many successful proposals were there with this chicken? Do you have the statistics on that?
No idea. Okay, so it's very simple. I have actually made Marry Me Chicken in the past. For today's episode, I'm going to make a vegan version that I just happened upon and I was like, oh yeah, Marry Me Chicken, I remember this. So Marry Me Chicken, I'll just tell you quickly, is garlic, thyme, sun-dried tomatoes, and some sort of cream. You're cooking your chicken in there. It's a creamy sun-dried tomato chicken. Pretty simple, right? My family really, I recall they really liked this chicken. I should make it again. And of course, I made it with coconut milk. Not heavy cream. I could do lactose-free heavy cream, though. I could do. I'm sure it would be a bit different. It's coconut milk. If you're used to substituting, as I am, it's not as creamy. Maybe if I got coconut cream, but either way, it's good.
It adds creaminess.
Yeah,
it goes with the flavors. I think you're good.
Yeah, exactly. But so recently, I was reminded of it again because I came across Marry Me Chickpeas, and I was like, oh, interesting. So here is a vegan version of the Marry Me recipe.
I was really interested to see what you were going to do vegan with this as you were talking about it being chicken. I was like, and where are we going from here?
Marry Me Chickpeas. I haven't gone too far into researching the recipe. I was just like, I read some reviews of it where people said it was really delicious. And you can also add or substitute beans if you prefer beans to chickpeas or a combination thereof. So I think it's I do love chickpeas. So I think maybe we'll go with chickpeas. It's also super quick. One pan, like a cast iron skillet.
Yeah. 20
minutes maybe to make it like super quick, easy, like weeknight dinner. When I've made the chicken, I think we had it with like pasta and a veggie. With the vegan option, I'm not sure what you serve it with. rice, maybe rice, and I don't know. I mean, you could serve it with whatever, but
Can we just like scoop it up with some nice like crusty bread?
ooh, yes. You can scoop anything up with crusty bread in my books.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm. Okay, so as I scroll through, yep, they've got full fat coconut milk in this recipe as well. And the other one, the chicken had Parmesan cheese, but I'm guessing this one does not, so it will be slightly different, but we're gonna give it a go. Gonna try a vegan version of a viral recipe and see if it inspires anybody to want to marry us. Marry me, vegan. No, just kidding. I don't know any vegans that I want to marry. I'm already married. What am I
Just,
talking
I was gonna
about?
say, is this a midlife crisis that we're coming out with here? Oh, and by the way, if anybody's available.
Now I'm a polygamist as well. Marry me
Oh
and
gosh.
him. Come on, sister wife. Maybe I could use
Okay.
a sister wife, actually. I wouldn't mind someone else to help do
Ah,
some of these, like chauffeur the children
one of
around.
those younger girls with more energy.
Yes, exactly. Ooh, took a
That was
turn.
that was a quick first half and a quick fall down a very scary hole. Looking for trusted guidance on your pregnancy journey? Birthing Magazine is here for you. Published 3 times a year by Birth Unlimited, Birthing Magazine empowers you to explore all of your birth options, from hospital to home and everything in between. Each issue is celebrating inspiring birth stories, evidence-based tips, and community connections to help you stay informed and make choices that are right for your family. At Birthing Magazine, we believe in empowered birth creating empowered families. Grab your copy today. Focus! We have an important question. Oh,
It's not really a question, is it?
oh,
Marry me,
okay.
it's just like a demand. It's not really a question. I was going to say it's a question, but really, to say marry
We
me
have a
is
proposal.
sort of.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, every time I said it, I'm like, is it like you want the chickpeas to marry you, or do you want the person who made the
Oh.
chickpeas to marry you?
Yeah, that's a good question because some people just use that as like, oh, I could marry this dress. I love it so much, or whatever, right? Like it's
Or like,
not.
you love it so much, why don't you marry it? Like,
Yeah. Gee, how can you tell we have that age boys in our house?
I remember saying that as a kid too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm like, well, if I could marry coffee, I probably would, something like that. Sure. All right. Let's get to the recipe.
Dun dun da da. Should we slow down the dun dun
Yeah, do the
da
two-step thing,
da?
where you do the half step and the drag your foot, half step and drag. We'll get to the altar eventually. Okay.
I never walked down an aisle, so.
Okay. This is a very easy recipe.
Mm.
I'm going to start out with heating up some olive oil over medium heat. I used a cast iron skillet. Put in some garlic, saute until fragrant, and then you're going to be adding in your Italian seasoning, chili flakes, black pepper. So this is one of those recipes because it's a quick throw together. I recommend getting your shit organized ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
You don't
Yes.
want to be like, oh, my garlic's getting too hot and I don't have, where's my seasoning? And oh, where did I put that pepper?
Yeah.
It helps to have things kind of organized and ready to throw in because it's quick and you don't want to burn things.
I feel like that's good advice all the time, unless you really
Yeah.
know a recipe and you know that you're adding things in stages.
Yeah, like if it's got a long simmer before you need to add the next thing, then that's okay.
Yeah.
But this one's a quick, easy weeknight kind of thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, then you're putting in your tomato paste and sun-dried tomatoes, fresh thyme, chickpeas, and vegetable stock. So now you're going to simmer for 5 minutes. So this all comes real quick, kind of warming things up, putting them in the pan, and now you're going to simmer, but still only 5 minutes before you put in your coconut milk and some fresh basil
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and a little salt and pepper if you want. Taste it first and see what you think. Season to taste. And that's it. You can let it simmer a little bit just to get that coconut milk kind of all warmed through, but that's it. And of course, everyone, the recipe is on our website, so you can see all the measurements. I also added, I did one 19-ounce can of chickpeas, and then I did half a can of lentils because I had them left over from something else. So you could throw in beans, you could put in, I mean, I really wanted, I didn't have any, but I was like, when I tasted it, I was like, oh, I want mushrooms in here. For some reason, I was thinking like a meaty, like, I don't know, just like chopped up mushroom in there would have just gone really well with the flavors of it. I don't know.
Totally. If you had mushrooms, you could put them in and just kind of really cook them down at the beginning with the garlic there. And then,
Yeah. I would maybe even do them first just to get, because the garlic is so quick.
yeah, exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I felt like you could add almost any veggie that you like could go in here.
This was incredibly, I don't want to say dense, but like filling. Like this was like, and you made that beautiful little bread ball.
I mean, I made you a little no-knead artisan bread. Recipe is also on our website. It's been there for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy one. You just mix up that dough. First, you leave it in your bowl, let it double in size a couple hours, then basically sort of shape it into a rough ball, put it into a cast iron Dutch oven with a lid, and bake it. It's just the easiest bread ever, which is why it's coming from me, because I don't do the complicated breads.
It doesn't have to be complicated to be delicious. That bread is, my whole family was like telling me all the ways that we could use that bread in other things. They're like, you could make a soup bowl out of this bread, and you could do that out of this bread. And I was like, whoa, guys, we're just chopping it up and having it with the chickpeas, okay?
Just for today, but the next
Hold the
time,
boat. But I thought, what great ideas from them to
spinach dip. You know how you put that in like a bread bowl? I'd eat the whole thing myself. I totally would.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about that. That's a serving size right there.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that the sun-dried tomatoes that went into yours. So I made this recipe twice. I made it for my family, and then you had gone out of town for a couple of days, and so I made it again for you.
Oh,
So that was like the whole recipe, what I gave you. And sun-dried tomatoes that went into your recipe were ones that I had dried myself. The ones I put in mine were the store-bought, you know, the little bag of just dried tomatoes. They're not in oil, they're just dried, sun-dried tomatoes.
right.
But for yours, they were the ones I had dried myself. So I wondered, I'm like, oh, I hope they were good.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have known the difference.
That's good.
Probably better. It probably added way more flavor because I definitely noticed them in there and was like, oh, these sun-dried tomatoes. What a good compliment to everything in here. Like it was really, really nice.
I like the tomatoes with the coconut milk. I feel like that's a combo you don't, maybe you typically would, it would be all mixed together more or something. I don't know, but I like that.
Yeah, that's good. This was more filling than we could handle for when we put it up because we kind of had it with dinner, and I really should have like cut back on the sides that I made with dinner because we were all just like, I really shouldn't eat another piece.
Maybe it was because of the bread.
And the bread, like all of it together was just
Yeah.
so fantastic. Yeah.
I thought it was great. And like I had said before, I've made it with chicken, the original Marry Me Chicken recipe,
Of course.
which is also delicious. But I remember when I made the chicken, I thought, it needs like bacon or something. Like to me, it felt like it needed like, I don't know what.
A bit more fat.
Yeah, fat, salty. Maybe because I made it with, I think I made it with chicken breast.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why. But I felt like with the chickpeas, I wasn't missing anything.
That's because chickpeas are just so fantastic.
They are good. And probably it was filling because of the lentils too.
And the lentils,
Lentils are
like this
filling.
was like a full meal. I was like, why did I make dinner? We should have just eaten this.
Yeah, especially if you're going to go to town on the bread. Although that's pretty small little loaf for a family of four.
It filled all of us up.
Yeah.
But even like the kids were like, oh, this is so good. They couldn't have any more.
It was a
And it's
hit
not
over here
often.
too. I didn't make the bread for us. We had it as like a side with other things.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, "Oh, these chickpeas are amazing." So
Yeah, they're perfect. Perfect to have.
yeah,
More protein. My kid's all about the protein right now, so.
and the fiber,
And the fiber.
protein and fiber for us old folks, and protein for the kids, and like,
And all the yummy flavors in between. I forgot about the coconut milk in there completely.
but it's
Isn't that
creamy.
crazy? It's creamy,
Yeah.
but it didn't taste coconutty to me, I guess. Like things that I usually have coconut milk in, I'm like, yeah, I can really point out the coconut milk. It wasn't obvious in this. And I was wondering if you got away with the coconut milk with your coconut
Oh,
adverse child.
I didn't tell him, and he didn't taste it either, I guess.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he usually susses that out pretty
I know he
fast on you,
does.
and he's like, something in here is weird. Did you put
There's some,
coconut in
yeah, is
this?
there coconut in here?
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, he
yeah.
didn't catch it.
Haha. So you can slip this one past them. And if you're feeling fancy, make it with garbanzo beans.
The kids would be like, "Whoa,
Ooh.
exotic garbanzos."
That's how I lied to my child as when he was younger, because he was convinced he didn't like chickpeas, but he loved garbanzo beans. If you're not
It's a
lying
fun
to your
word.
children,
What are you even
you're not
doing?
parenting right.
You got to sneak some things in there.
It's way more fun that way, right?
So this is a fully vegan recipe, but you could, like we were talking about the bacon or whatever, if you want to add cheese, if you want to, if you didn't have,
Right.
if you're not a vegan and you had chicken stock would work in here just as well. As I happen to have veggie stock that I had made. You know how you keep all the scraps of all the stuff? I had a huge bag at some point in the summer, and I was like, I didn't have a chicken carcass, or I didn't feel like rooting around in the fridge or the freezer to find one. So I was like, oh, I just dumped out all those veggies and made veggie stock, which came in handy for this.
Good for you.
It was quite
When
good.
I just get a second bag to store all my. Oh, this one's full. New bin.
Start another one, or you could make a veggie stock, Erin.
Make a veggie stock. That's a good tip.
Okay, go marry some chickpeas. We say, I do, I will, to the chickpeas.
I will. And now for the fine print. Links to recipes and other things we talked about in this episode can be found in the show notes or on our website, www.threekitchenspodcast.com. Come say hello on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. We'd love to connect. And if you enjoy the show, pass it on. Word of mouth is the #1 way people learn about new podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.
Holy fuck, it's annoying. Okay. Don't want to be on record saying that.